Hey guys, it's Barry again with Barry's 8-Track and Classic Car Radio Repair, and this one's going to be a completely unrehearsed and totally disorganized video because this is not demonstrating a customer's job, which I have plenty of practice doing. This is going to be focusing on the Amish space heater that you may have heard about. They've been out for quite a number of years. They make quite a few different sizes and types, but the one thing I can say about this little Amish space heater, it is the best heater. It is the best space heater in the world. I absolutely love this thing. You turn it on. It's got these cool simulated flames that come up. It's got these two little lights at the bottom that, without the lights, you don't have the flames. Needless to say, that's all the lights are for. Is for the flames. But it's got this cool little visual thing going on. It's got the simulated fire and flames in the back. It's got your low and high heat controls that you can use to to adjust the amount of heat. It's even got a little thermostat that you can have it stop blowing heat at a desired temperature. Everything's pretty cool about this heater except for one thing. It has modern digital electronic controls that don't last very long. So I'm going to turn it off for the moment. It's working right now, but after about an hour, the board gets funky and it stops heating, and you have to unplug it and plug it back in to reset the computer. So, so this is quite an interesting little unit in that the Amish are generally probably not electronics technicians, especially newer digital electronics. I just don't see you know I just don't see you know guys with beards who swing their who swing their hammers like this. I just don't see them being really savvy on the technical end of things. So as it turns out, the wood cabinet, particularly the top part, is what is handcrafted by the Amish, so-called handcrafted. There's no hand carving. There's no, I mean, you can see the staples that were put in by a power stapler. There's not, there's not that much handcrafting. This entire power unit is made in China. This entire thing, it's only available as a whole. When this board goes out, or if one of your heating elements goes out, or whatever, all you can do is replace the entire insert, like $200. The space heater as a whole costs around $350. If you need to repair the electrical part of it, it's going to cost you $200 to replace the entire freaking insert with another Chinese insert. So, anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm not about to go through that. I live alone in a pretty large house. I'm never in the same room at one. I'm never in more than one room at a time, and generally I spend half the day in the shop and the evening in the living room watching TV and stuff. So I really don't have a need to heat the entire house or cool the entire house with my central system. It's a lot cheaper just to heat the space that you're occupying. So I love these little Amish heaters so much because they do work so well when they're working. They put out a heck of a lot of heat. They give you a nice visual equivalent to go along with that. They're generally pretty reliable. They're safe. They put a tremendous amount of heat, but they're cool to the touch. There's no real danger. They will shut off if they're tipped more than about like that. They shut down. They're very safe. They're just a really great heater coming from China. The Amish part of it was building the cabin around it, handcrafting. That's the so-called handcrafting. And if you watch the promotional videos from the guys who make these things, you'll see the head beard come in and say, yeah, well, we wanted to design a unit that's going to last the rest of your life. Well, I'm sorry, guys. Anything with modern digital electronics is not going to last the rest of your life. That's just the nature of the industry. If it doesn't crap out in 5 years, they'll come along with something newer to replace it, making this obsolete anyway. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to try to eliminate this electronic crap altogether, because the heater and hopefully the motor that turns the simulated fire flame thing are all line powered 110 volts. This is most likely operated off of a 5-volt supply since it's a computer. It may also have a positive and negative 12-volt supply. We'll know more when we get inside of it. But I'm going to try to just bypass this stupid board here. I don't need all this automatic stuff. I don't need low and high speed. I just need the thing to heat. And when I turn it on, and stop heating when I turn it off. And I can easily, there's got to be an easy way to bypass this crap and avoid having to pay $200 to replace this little board. So let's go ahead and tear into this thing. First thing I'm going to do is unplug it. for safety reasons. I envy the guys who have the time to make this type of video instead of always having to demonstrate a customer's repaired unit in case the customer hooks it up wrong and you need proof that the unit was working when it left the shop. That may seem like fun to you guys, but and it is to an extent, but it's also a lot of pressure. And so once in a while, I need to just have a little fun with my video setup, and that's what I'm doing today. I'm just going to show you guys the inside of this thing, and I'm going to see it for myself for the first time as well. And we're just going to have a little fun with this thing. I'm most likely not going to get the thing changed over and working within this video. It may take 2 or 3 videos, but right now I just want to see, number one, if there's a manufacturing date to offset this guy's claim that it's designed to last the rest of your life, and we'll see just how many years it worked properly, and also just kind of get an idea of how that simulated flame actually works. I know that there's a light that reflects off of a rotating deal, and that shines upon like a mesh screen type thing to give you the simulation of flames. But I just want to see how easy this is going to be to convert from modern electronics to good old-fashioned, just turn the doggone thing on and turn it off when you're done. Now, this electronic control crap, it's also become very popular with stoves, refrigerators, vacuum cleaners, air fryers. Practically everything that used to be long-lasting is now plagued with all this modern digital control crap, and that is what goes out, leaving a perfectly good appliance useless. So I'm out to change all that, at least in my life. There's one thing I'm not about to do. Okay, well, they make this thing really difficult to take apart. Okay, all we need to get to the board is to remove this top cover, and they make that impossible to remove without also removing the side pieces. So let's go ahead and take those screws out too. And there may even be more I have to do just to get this top off. And here's a further testament to the cheapness, to the overall cheapness of the design. This replacement insert comes with metal tabs that, after you slide the new insert in place, you bend the tabs over and run screws into them. That's their idea of quality and something that's going to last the rest of your life. It's not. It is well built, very solidly on the whole, but it's just not the completely handcrafted item that they claim it is. As nothing really is. I mean, anything that's truly handcrafted would be way too expensive for anyone to want to buy these days. Labor is the most expensive part of almost any repair industry. Parts are generally pennies compared to labor cost. So we're just having some fun here. Hopefully this top is just about to come off and we can see, hopefully at a glance, how feasible it's going to be to remove all the modern crap and just turn this into a space heater like it was supposed to be to begin with. Okay, let's see how much progress we've made. Okay, well, we can at least swing the... there we go. Now we've got a whole bunch of stuff removed, and we can hopefully pull this top off, which we have. Okay, we have the... All right, let's see if we can switch to a different camera view here. Okay. Alrighty, inside we have... Okay, this is the pot. That is the temperature control, so it's not a mechanical control. That's not a good thing. This is our... Right here is where our buttons are. That's your basically control unit. And then down inside here, we have our modern computerized control board. We got looks like we have a switching power supply. We've got 4 relays. That's always fun. Okay, we got a couple of chips. I'm not seeing a processor anywhere. Let's see, what's this chip? There's one chip. That is a... Okay, I'm not seeing by the part number what this chip actually does. It's obviously some type of digital control chip, but it's not a processor. It's just basically a collection of logic gates. Looks like fuses are good naturally since the unit does work sometimes. The capacitors are not puffed out, so they're probably okay. They may not be, but they're they're probably okay. Normally, when a capacitor is expired, it usually puffs out a little bit, um, and it wouldn't be a loose wire or anything that would cause this particular problem. It would be an actual electronic failure of some sort. Here's our little fan, or there's our little blower fan, kind of a neat thing that blows the air out. Okay, got our heating elements up here, of course. So yeah, we definitely have a 110 volt element and a 110 volt motor. Okay, the motor itself says 120 volts AC, 60 cycles, so we know that's AC powered. The heating element has to be AC powered because it would be silly to build a DC supply powerful enough to operate this heating element because it's already the line voltage can already do it without going through all that unnecessary crap. So I believe that this can pretty easily be bypassed, this electronic crap, and just turn this thing into a regular heater. I'll have to do a little experimentation, but it looks pretty straightforward. We've got our elements here. We've got a fan in front of the elements. It's all 110 controlled. It's easy to see the connecting parts of the elements. So I believe that this can be pretty easily changed over to a complete 110 volt and eliminate all this digital crap. I just don't see any need for it. Let's see. And I can just I can take all this crap, all this control crap off, just replace it with a toggle switch and maybe a mechanical thermostat so that it stops producing heat at certain times when its room is satisfied. But at any rate, we've got 110 volt heating elements, we have a 110 volt motor, and we have 110 volt lights. So we are good to go as far as eliminating all this low voltage digital electronic crap and turning this into a space heater that'll work every single time for the rest of my life until either the fan, the heating elements, or the motor goes out. And if the motor goes out, it'll still work because all the motor does is do a visual thing. So the motor is not functional whatsoever on the heating functions. So this will be a pretty easy. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a pretty easy changeover, and I'll let you guys know how it turns out. Let's have some fun with this.